Good morning. How are you doing today? Good morning. Just confirm you can hear me loud and clear. And also confirm you can see my screen. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining the class. How are you doing today? Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. So let's start by looking at the calendar for today. Today is Tuesday, the 15th of April. Claimant count change was released for Great Britain pounds, and you can see it was positive from 30.3k to 18.7k. Okay, that's positive for Great Britain pounds. And if you look at GBP USD has been bullish since this news was released. Since this news was released, GBP USD has been bullish. Good morning, Mr. Joseph. Good morning, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Tonda. Good morning. Okay, so it was positive for GBP. Technically, GBP USD is bullish. Then by 1:30, CPI data will be released for CAD by 1:30. So if you're considering trading CAD pairs, I would advise you wait for price for this news to be released before you take a trade on CAD pairs. Okay, so that's my take on fundamentals. Wait for this data to be released before you trade CAD pairs. So let's see DXY. Let's start with DXY. So like I told you guys, my bias for DXY still remains bearish. I'm still very bearish on DXY this week. Okay, still bearish. So let's start with the daily. Let's see how yesterday candle closed. So yesterday candle closed strongly bearish, but it respected this previous low. Okay, it respected this previous low. It closed bearish, and I'm sure this week DXY is going to come for this low. DXY is going to come for this low. Okay, so let's go down to after the close of yesterday candle. Let's see the pattern we had on 4 hour. Let's see. So you can see what we had on 4 hour, the close of yesterday market. You can see what we have here looks like an engulfing pattern, a doji candle formed, and this bullish candle closed above the high of these candles. Okay, this is an engulfing pattern. Okay, it closed above the high, so DXY is supposed to be bullish. Okay, today it's supposed to be bullish, so you can see price are pulled back. I think let's see if a favorable gap was created. Let's see if a favorable gap was created on lower time frame. That this morning, I think a favorable gap was created at this point. You can see this favorable gap is created here. Can you see that? Price has pulled back this morning to fill this favorable gap. Can you see? And there's a strong rejection from that area. Also, what they did this morning was to clear. This is the low of the Asian session, the Asian market. So what they did was to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. Now, if a candle closes below the low of this candle, if a candle, 1 hour candle closes below the low of this candle, that will be the right time to go bearish on DXY. Okay, that will be the right time to go bearish on DXY. So what I think would play out on DXY today, let's see, you can see these highs, this relative because highs, they are likely going to come from these highs. That's what I'm expecting on the XY. So it's either we look for sales from this zone or we look for sell below the low of this candle. Okay, that's my take on the XY. Look for sales from this zone or sell if price breaks out from this low. That's my take. And remember, our bias for DXY is bearish. Okay, it is bearish. So that's my take on DXY. You can see price has been in a range for some time since yesterday evening. Price has been in a range. So wait for a breakout from this low, or wait for price to pull back to fill the liquidity residing at this high and also this high before we look for buys on GU, AU, and so that's my take on DXY. So let's look at GBP USD. GBP USD. Okay, Mr. Joseph said we should look at GBP JPY. A few minutes. Let's look at GBP USD. So GBP USD has been bullish. I'm expecting a pullback on GBP USD. I expect to see a pullback on GBP USD. And see GBP USD has been bullish since the market opened. It just sold a little, and and you can see the liquidity that was residing at this previous high has been cleared, and it is likely we're on a daily time frame, so there is a fair value gap here on GBP USD. This is the daily time frame, so I think that is where GBP USD is aiming for. That will be the next target on GBP USD, but I would love to see GBP USD pull back. Okay, I'd love to see GBP USD to pull back, probably to come test this broken resistance turn support. Okay, this is where I will be considering going bullish on, though it has tested it this morning. You can see this pullback here. It has tested it. So I have doubts if it's going to pull back. You can see broke out from this resistance, price pulled back this morning, and the next candle that formed closed above this resistance it created this morning. So I doubt if GBP USD is going to pull back. I would have loved to see it pull back to this zone before buying. Okay, so after this breakout, let's see if it doesn't even pull back to this zone. I want to see it pull back to fill this fair value gap it created this morning. Okay, it should retest this resistance and this fair value gap. This would be a good area to consider buying GBP USD. Okay, that would have been a good zone to buy GBP USD. Okay, so that's my take on GBP USD. I think GBP USD is set for buy. I think it's set for buy. But dollar index, let's see what's dollar index saying. Dollar index is still bullish. So let's see. Maybe in New York session price will pull back to fill this gap here before going bullish. This would be a good area to consider buying. Okay, let's look at Euro USD. If you have anything you want us to look at, please drop it in the comment section. Okay, so this is Euro USD. And see, Euro USD has been in a range since last night. It has been in a range. It has formed support and resistance. We have this support here, and we have this as a resistance. So if you want to buy EU, wait for breakout from resistance. Okay, wait breakout from the resistance, and this will be the next target for EU. This will be the next target for EU. Let's see daily. That will be the next target. This high, this previous high, will be the next target for EU. Okay, to be the next target for EU. So look for your buy setup on EU. Look for your buys on EU. Okay, look for buys on EU. Let's see 1 hour. Okay, wait. Okay, then let's look 15 minutes. Let's see 15 minutes. You can see 15 minutes also has been in a range. So wait for breakouts. Wait for breakout. Wait for a bullish setup on Euro USD. Okay, if you want to buy Euro USD, wait for a bullish setup. So you can see what played out this morning. This is 15 minutes. Price pulled back to fill this fair value gap. Can you see it? Price pulled back to fill this fair value gap, and the low of Asian session the low of Asian session has been cleared. Can you see that? The low of the Asian session has been cleared. And if you go down to, maybe there's a fair value gap that needs to be filled. That could be the reason for this pullback. Let's go down to 5 minutes and see. Let's see. Okay, so you can see on 5 minutes, I think there's a fair value gap here. Can you see the fair value gap here? So that could be the reason for the pullback. You can see at this point, it's created a fair value gap. Price pulled back, filled that fair value gap, and created a new fair value gap here. So it is likely price wants to come fill this fair value gap. Let's see. The price had already filled it. This candlestick filled it. Okay. So it has filled it. Price has filled it. So you should just wait for a bullish reversal pattern. So I will be considering buying EU if 1 hour candle. If 1 hour candle closes above the high of this candle, I would go bullish on EU. If 1 hour candle closes above the high of this candle, that will be the time I'm going to buy EU. If 1 hour candle closes above this level, I will buy EU. I will buy EU from that zone, from that level. If you have any question, just drop it in the comment section. Let's look at GBP, JP1. Okay, let's start with the daily and EU on GJ. GJ is still bullish. GJ is still bullish. GJ is still bullish. You can see these highs. GJ is going to come for that high. Okay, GJ is going to come for this high. So if you're considering selling GJ, you should wait for the liquidity residing at this previous high to be cleared. And also you can see we had fair value gaps here on the daily time frame, but price might not pull back to fill this fair value gap because we have, you can see we have support, turn resistance, and also at this point we had support, turn resistance here, which was the reason for this pullback. You can see this support, turn resistance was the reason for this pullback, this retracement. Okay, so it now created a high, which is an area of liquidity. That's why I said there's a high probability because they know a lot of stop losses are residing at this level. So there's a high probability they would come for this high before going bearish. So wait for price to clear liquidity residing at this previous high before you consider going bearish on GJ. Okay, that's my take on GJ. Patiently wait for price to break out from that to test this high, this previous high. You could even test this one, so you can see this previous high. So these are the areas you should be considering selling GJ. Okay, these are the areas you should consider selling GJ. And if you look at 4 hour, okay, we have a fair value gap here on 4 hour. There's a fair value gap on 4 hour. Okay. We also have the fair value gap here. So this is the area you should consider selling GJ. That clear? And that's about how many pips from the current market price. So GJ is expected to do like over 100 pips from the current market price. 100 pips from the current market price. I hope that is clear. So GJ is bearish, okay, but at the moment this won't be the right time to sell. Wait for price to, it has created an high here. You know, a lot of beta traders would have executed sell this morning after the formation of this candle that looks like a spinning top. Many traders would have executed a sell, and where would they have their stop loss? Their stop losses should be residing at this previous high. So there's a high probability they would go for the stop losses before going bearish. Few minutes, guys. Few minutes. Sorry, guys, for that break. Sorry for the break. Okay, so that's my take on GJ. Look for sell on GJ. Look for sales on GJ. I hope that is clear, guys. I hope that is clear. If you have any question or any pair you want us to look at, let me know. Drop it in the comment section. If there's any pair you want us to look at, let me know. Drop it in the comment section. Are you guys still here? Are you still here? Are you still here? If you have any pair you want us to look at, drop it in the comment section. Let's look at Australian dollar USD. Okay. Let's start with the daily. Okay. So Australian dollar is yet to clear. I'm sure Australian dollar is going to clear this high. It's going to clear that high, and also the liquidity residing at this previous highs. I'm sure it's going to clear it. Okay. But I want to see price pull back. Let's go down to 4 hours. So it has created a resistance this morning. So if price breaks out from this resistance, then you should look for buy. If price breaks out from that resistance, look for buys. Okay, but I would like to see price pull back, though it's pulled back after breaking out from this resistance, but I would love to see it pull back. You can see it's created a fair value gap here on 4 hour. Can you see this gap it created after breaking out from this resistance? I would love to see price pull back to test this level. Okay, I'd love to see it pull back to retest this fair value gap before going bullish. But if it doesn't fill this fair value gap, if it breaks out from the resistance, then one should consider buying Australian dollar USD. If it breaks out from the resistance, look for buys. Okay, look for buys if it breaks out from the resistance. So it's either it pulls back to fill this fair value gap or breaks out from this resistance. Okay, let's see weekly. Okay. So I'm sure Australian dollar USD is aiming for the high of last week. You can see all these highs, all these highs. Australian dollar USD is going to play all these highs. Hopefully this week. Hopefully this week it will clear all the highs. Okay, so that's my take on Australian dollar USD. Let's see USD JPY. USD JPY is bearish at the moment. Yesterday it was bearish. Today also it is bearish. It is bearish. Okay. Look for sales on USD JPY. So it has created a fair value gap here. So if you want to sell, you might want to wait for price to pull back and fill this fair value gap. That is what I would suggest. This fair value gap it has created. If you want to sell, wait for price to pull back and fill that fair value gap. Okay. Wait for price to fill that fair value gap before you sell. Okay. wait for price to pull back, fill this fair value gap, or wait for price to pull back and retest this broken support, some resistance. Okay, wait for price to pull back to retest this support, some resistance, or wait for price to fill the fair value gap before you go bearish on USJPY. Any question? Any question? Any question? I hope that is clear. Any question? Any question? Let's see gold. So I think gold is bearish at the moment. Let's start with the daily time frame. Long term is bullish on gold. Long term is bullish. Okay. Gold is still very bullish. Still very bullish. Okay. So yesterday candle closed as one looks like a spinning top, and it created. You can see this relative equal high is an area of liquidity. That is where gold is aiming for. Okay. But I'd like to see price retrace on gold. I'd like to see price retrace into, let's see. Okay, so it has created a fair value gap here. Okay. So it's likely going to come fill this fair value gap. Okay, a lot of retail traders have entered by now, and their stop losses will be residing at this previous low. So there's a high probability gold will come fill this fair value gap before going bullish. So if you are considering buying gold, wait for price to fill this fair value gap. That's my take on gold. Wait for price to fill that fair value gap before you go bullish on gold. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Any question? Any question? Is there any other pair you want us to look at? Let me know. Is there any other pair you want us to look at? Let me know in the comment section. I can't wait to buy EU. I think I will be trading EU today. I'm waiting for a buy setup on EU. I'm waiting for buy setup on EU. Okay. Card pairs. Be specific. Which pairs? Which pair on card do you want us to look at? Be specific. Okay, USD CHF. Okay, let's look at USD CHF. Be specific on the pairs. Card pairs. Be specific. Which of the pairs? You cannot analyze all card pairs. Just be specific which one you're looking at. Okay. USD CHF. So let's start with the daily time frame. Upstake, good morning. So you can see yesterday candle closed on USHF. Yesterday was bearish. It closed bearish. Okay. So after the close of yesterday candle, what do we have on 4-hour? So you can see what we have on 4-hour. Okay. This was the last candle, I think, for yesterday markets. Okay. So this is a sell on USDCHF. It's a sell. Okay. Bearish. So you can see we have a fair value gap here. It's created a fair value gap here. So they might want to fill this gap. Okay. They might want to fill this gap before going, okay, before going bearish. It's sell. Here's the stage of the sell. But you might want to wait for price to pull back. Clear the liquidity residing at this previous high before you look for sells on USD CHF. Okay, USD CHF is bearish for the week. It is bearish. But you might want to wait for price to pull back, clear the liquidity residing at this previous high before you go bearish on USD CHF. Okay, so we have a fair value gap here. Okay, so you could also wait for price to come fill this fair value gap. Okay, you could look for sales from this zone. Look for sales from this zone. If this fails, then you look for sales above this level. After liquidity gets cleared, then you look for sales. I think what they did this morning, they've cleared the liquidity residing at the high of the Asian session. I think this was the high of the Asian session. I think what they did was to clear the liquidity. They've also cleared the sell side liquidity of Asian session. So what you should look out for is a pullback to this fair value gap and sell. Okay, look for sell from this fair value gap before going bearish on USD CHF. We looked at CAD CHF. I think it was on Monday, and I told you my bias for CAD CHF is bullish. It is bullish, and like I said earlier, we are expecting a major news from Canada today, right? The major news will be released from Canada, so that will also determine what will play out on CAD CHF. Okay, so CPI, which is a major news, will be released from Canada today by 1:30. So you should wait for this, okay, to be released before you trade CAD base. Okay, so technically CAD CHF is bullish. Technically, it is bullish. Okay, technically it is bullish. It is bullish. So you can see, I think it has created a fair value gap here. I think CAD CHF is set for buy. It's created a fair value gap here. Can you see that? Price had pulled back to fill that fair value gap. And you see, this has played out on CAD CHF. So you could just wait patiently for price, okay, to close above the high of this bearish candle. Okay, wait for price to close above the high of that candle before you go bullish. Okay, you can buy above this. If 1 hour candle closes above the high of this candle, go bullish. You can buy. Okay, buy if 1 hour candle closes above that level. Okay, wait for 1 hour candle to close above that level before you buy. That's my take on CAD CHF. It is still bullish. It is likely going to come fill. This will be the next target, this fair value gap at a premium area. That will be the next target. Okay. You're welcome, Top Stake. You're welcome. So that's my take on CAD CHF. It's still bullish. It's still bullish. I hope that is clear. This EU, I think I want to take a buy on EU. I want to take a buy on EU. Let me see 1 hour. EU is set for buy. See 15 minutes. Okay. Did 1 hour close above? Okay, so that's my take on CAD CHF. I want to take a buy on EU. Any question? Any question? Any question? Let me know in the comment section if you have any question. Any question? Any question? Any question? Is there any other instrument you want us to look at? Let me know in the comment section. It appears there are not more questions. All right, so that'll be all for today's session. I wish you all a profitable trading day. So for those of you on the VIP group, I will update you guys. Okay, see a good setup on GU or EU. I'll post it on the group. Okay, do have a great day.